Hi everybody, Bo Bruskern here. This one's going out to my team. And if others of you get a chance to watch it, that's great. But really, this is just an internal note about environment and the kind of environment that we're in and the kind of environments that we're used to and how we're going to navigate this together. I'm going to take you through a description of 4 different environments. And I'm stealing a lot of this from a fellow by the name of Mike Weeks, who's a Boulder business coach who trains a lot of the armed forces on resilience. And I think he's carved out quite a specialty there. Now, I didn't hear this directly from Mike Weeks. I heard it from another friend who described it to me, and then I made it my own. And so I'm describing this to you through my own lens, and I hope it resonates with you and helps you kind of get a feel for where we are, where you are, and where your colleagues may be. The first environment I'm going to describe is the obvious environment. That's the one that we're used to. This is, imagine yourself driving down a road, let's say it's a freeway, and you've got a certain set of rules. All the rules have been established before you. There are best practices that you follow. You stay in the middle of the lane. If you need to change lanes, you turn your blinker on. That kind of stuff. That's an obvious environment. We know, we recognize really everything in that environment, and nothing is too big of a surprise. This is a standard place for us to operate in. Now, sometimes things get complicated. Now that's environment number 2. Let's say there's a blizzard. Let's say there is a complete whiteout and you cannot see the lane you're in. This would be what is described by Weeks as a complicated environment where you need to bend rules a little bit, all right? It may not be obvious not only what lane you're in, but it may not be wise to be in your assigned lane. You might have to drift a little bit toward the center, take up the whole road, maybe drive a little bit more slowly. You may have to accelerate to get out of danger. Now, while there's almost no innovation going on in the realm of the obvious, there's still not much innovation going on in the realm of the complicated, but there is some liberty being taken. You know the rules are there, and you're sort of abiding by them, but you're really sort of stretching the boundaries of the rules. You're staying within the spirit of the rules, which is don't crash into people, but you may not be following the letter of the rules, which is stay in your doggone lane, right? Okay, all that's in the name of making progress, moving forward. Now, occasionally there is absolute chaos. I'm going to switch analogies for you a bit to describe the third environment, which is the chaotic environment. And we're skiers now. We're skiing down a hill, and we're expecting that hill to maintain its stability. But no, there's an ice shelf, it cracks, and all of a sudden we're in an avalanche. Okay, so we've gone from this idyllic, enjoyment of skiing to life-threatening avalanche of uncertainty. Now, when we're buried in the avalanche, let's say it solidifies around us, we're trapped, we're suffocating, we're terrified, we don't know which way is up, we're blind, it may be hard to breathe. All those feelings may sound very familiar to you right now because that's the environment we're in. That's the business environment we're in, the environment of chaos. This is a place where massive innovation occurs and a tiny bit of progress. So we need to figure out which way is up first. One way to innovate our way through that is to spit. If you spit, you can find out where gravity is pulling. If you know where gravity is pulling, you know which way up is, and perhaps you can thrust your arm up in that direction, and maybe you're only 6 inches under the snow, and your arm reaches air, and someone can find you, or you've created an air way so that you can breathe and eventually be rescued. That's a tiny bit that's a lot of innovation, a tiny bit of progress that leads to a breakthrough. Chaos is a place where entrepreneurs tend to thrive. That hopefully is encouraging to you. I tend to thrive in a world of chaos, and I am energized by this chaos we're in. I like getting us out of chaos and moving toward the next 4th environment, and that is a good thing. So I hope that's comforting to you in some way. But the sooner we move out of chaos, we can move back into the fourth environment, which is called the complex environment. It's not the complicated one, which is complicated is taking what's known and shrouding it and making it, slightly a little bit less recognizable. Complex is what comes out of the chaos. So we're moving toward a complex environment. The complex environment is characterized by a balance of innovation and progress. So all that enormous amount of innovation that we're doing right now in our company to move ourselves through this chaotic environment, that is going to start to coalesce into new rule sets, new ways of doing business, new ways of communicating, a whole bunch of new realities that we will over time begin to recognize and be able to describe for those who follow. As we do that, we are creating some order out of the chaos, and we're making this complex environment recognizable and moving it toward another rules-based system. The ultimate victory over the complex is to make it obvious, and we go back into the circle. So from here, from the depths of the chaotic environment, we're going to move into a complex environment, and we're going to make it back eventually into what we would call an obvious environment. That's a really quick kind of run through. I'm just going to take a quick look at my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. We talked about innovation. We talked about the progress in chaos coming in very small increments, where there's a massive amount of innovation and only a little bit of progress. And then once we punch through in that complex environment, then we get into a lot of progress while still innovating. And that is probably what entrepreneurs really live for, is going from chaos through up into that complex world where there's so much innovation and progress going on. It feels like you're on a rocket ship. So there's a lot more to be said about that and the psychology of the entrepreneur and all that stuff. I don't think I'm going to go into that now, but I think it's really important for us all to understand, where we think we are right now, and we're all going to be in a different spot. And sometimes we'll be in different spots, 3 or 4 times an hour, no less 3 or 4 times a day or a week, right? This is a little bit of a roller coaster. We're each riding our own roller coaster. We're going up and down. Sometimes we're feeling at our zenith and sometimes at our nadir, but we're all on a different one. So you might be passing me as I'm heading up, and you might be heading down. That's what we're in right now. So understand what environment you're in. Understand yourself. Where are you most highly functioning? Where do you function best, and where are you happiest? Are you, happiest in that obvious environment, like most of the world? That makes sense to me. That is a happy place. That is a good place to be, and I love it there too. And we're driving there together. And then understand also where your colleagues are. Understand not only are they really good at working in these other environments, and also where are they right now, and are they suffering because they're squashed in an avalanche, or are they doing well because they've sort of moved through that and punched through the surface, and they now have an airway so that they can breathe a little bit, and they're moving into a new place, a happier place. That's really the bulk of what I want to share with you. I hope it was helpful. I hope it resonates a little bit and gives you something to chew on in terms of understanding what we're going through right now as individuals and as a team, and recognizing that, hey, this is a cycle, and this is not going to last forever. We're not going to be in this. If you're in a dark place right now, you're not going to be in there forever. You're going to work your way out. You might work your way out a couple times a day, find yourself back in that dark hole, but eventually we're going to get to this place where, man, that whole thing that we just went through, that feels like a long time ago, because now we're on this rocket ship and we're finding new heights. That's what I'm working toward. I know you are too. And please just reach out to me if you need any help at all, and reach out to your colleagues, of course, your friends at Lend It FinTech. We're all here for each other, and we're going to get through this together. Have a great weekend. Have a good night. Take care.